Hello. We're on day 6 of my 90-day video challenge, and today was a tough one. Today was difficult. I did not wake up at the time that I would like to because I went to sleep late and was really exhausted, just really tired lately. A, because of my period, and B, because starting a new job and learning new things and creating a new routine and figuring out the flow of things, so on. It's very tiring on the mind and on the system. And therefore, my energy was kind of out of whack today. You can probably tell by how I look right now. I look pretty tired and pretty but I still love myself. So today was quite the journey, and I was super frustrated. I'm still feeling some of that frustration and irritation. But it really brought me to understand, the topic of today, which is how I became a self-love coach. And today is a really good example of a day where, my tools are very needed, and my own teachings and the things that I've learned are needed to be implemented, even if it didn't work out as the best. And also, being gentle and loving with myself. Because becoming a self-love coach, a life coach, a self-care coach, however you want to call it, really self-love coach, was something that happened through almost like necessary steps for me to take in my life to really live a life that I was in control of. And not the control that I control everything, but really that I was in control of what I was doing and what I needed to do and what I was able to do every day, and put the responsibility back in my hands instead of putting it out to everyone else. So I have always been someone who's very sensitive. You could consider me an empath, highly sensitive, spiritual, however you want to call it. And a lot of people in our community want to look at empaths as victims. They want to victimize themselves or say I have this gift and it's such a burden and it's so difficult. But I didn't resonate with that. But I resonated with the aspect of being an empath, of being someone who feels a lot, feels very deeply, can really connect to people, can really connect to situations, has clair abilities, like claircognizance, clairaudience, hears things, feels things that are not really there to most people, but they are there. And if you ask someone are you feeling this way? They're like, yeah, I am feeling this way. What the heck? Or, I was just thinking this, and does this resonate with you? And it's yeah, oh my God. If you're watching this, you probably understand what I'm saying, but I anyways want to say it. So I acknowledge and identify with a lot of those aspects, but I didn't want it to control my life. I didn't want those aspects to take over, to guide my decisions and make decisions for me. Because I did that for a while in the beginning of my journey, I let spiritual bias and spiritual BS kind of control my decisions instead of me taking hold of what I really wanted to do and what felt right for me. And so I basically started to create routine for myself. I started to take hold of my daily life, doing exercise and meditating and yoga and chanting and so on in the mornings to prime my energy to really get into a place of clarity of my own internal guidance, of my own intuition, and of, you could call higher guidance as well, speaking to the highest version or the best version of myself. It's much more difficult to do that when you are overwhelmed with emotion, or you're letting things flow through you as they go and just flow with the day, because then you just become like a glass of water that just gets water poured into it from this person, from this situation, from that thing. And you just have to kind of sift through it, but it's not really working because, so on and so forth. So it is really the whole aspect of filling your cup, putting a cap on it, and then moving forward with the day and helping whoever you see and whatever you experience along the way. That's kind of how I saw it and how I still see it. And pouring from that cup, right? Which then should be really overflowing rather than just full. So I really realized through the journey of seeing how I let life kind of take hold of my trajectory and how I wanted to do things. And I decided that I would take the power back into my own hands, and that I needed to do that through loving myself, through really deeply loving and taking care of myself and being with myself, because I didn't really have that growing up. I was not given space to emotionally express. I was definitely the black sheep of my family, and I felt everything but didn't know what to do with it. So therefore sports were my escape. And then at one point when I was not able to do sports, which is this is kind of my spiritual journey, which is I think another conversation. I had to find another way to be with myself, which I then discovered spirituality. I discovered the realm beyond the physical realm. I discovered things that are beyond the physical, and that they really helped me, and that they really resonated with me, and they made a lot of sense. And that's when I started to dive into it. Cards, like angel cards, angels, meditation, yoga, astral realms, astral beings, and so on. I really went into everything. I have I bit my lip, so I have this little thing there. But anyway, I really dove into all of that and kind of got lost in it, which sometimes you need to get lost, but I got lost in it. I got into a relationship that was a twin flame relationship, and it destroyed me so that I could find myself really, and really take back my power and love myself and guide my life even in the most dire circumstances, and really some of the hell that I realized was going on inside of me from that I was holding on to, that I was carrying with me, and that was being reflected in the relationship that I was in and in the situation that I was in my life. And so from that place, I really had to start really taking care of myself. And the only thing that I could really call that was self-love, because I was constantly connecting to love, connecting to spirit, connecting to source. And instead of externalizing it, I was internalizing it and learning about what that looked like for me, which is myself. And then whenever I took the power and the energy back to myself, and I relinquished other people's responsibility, and I took back the power and kept taking back my power, I realized how much power I really had and how much I was giving away and how I needed to maintain it. And that maintenance needed structure and consistency and a rhythm and a routine. And so that is when I created the program that I created, after realizing that my angel card readings were not going to do enough. They weren't going to help people. They would help women from the one sessions, but they weren't going to help them long term in the ways that I, for example, shifted my life in a long-term perspective. And I left that relationship. I started to take care of myself more. I started my own business, and I really took the reins of my life. And that's when I became a self-love coach, or I became a mind, body, spirit coach. That's what I called myself. But I didn't want to call it all that, because mind, body, spirit, and emotions coach is kind of a mouthful. So self-love was really the key to that. And I could go on, because I could say so much more, but I don't want to go on because it's going to be a long video, and I want to keep these to a decent length. So that is my story about becoming a self-love coach and being a self-love advocate. And there's so much more to this, and I'm not feeling the best, honestly, to really say this clearly, but I hope this was clear enough and this made sense. I'll definitely speak more on this when I can, when I have my next video. And yeah, I just need to get going and take care of myself because I'm definitely lacking on that today. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I just wanted to stay committed. So here I am. And if you'd like to watch the next videos, you can definitely do so. I will be here on YouTube or Instagram, possibly Facebook, but I'm figuring out how I want to post on Facebook. So I really appreciate your time in watching this. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.